Namaste and a very good morning from the capital city of Kathmandu of Nepal. On behalf of Ministry of Women, Children and Senior Citizen, National Human Rights Commission and Global South Coalition for Dignified Menstruation, I would like to welcome all of you in this inaugural session of International Workshop on Dignified Menstruation 2020. We are marking second International Dignified Menstruation Day with 3-day workshop starting today. My name is Samiksha Koirala, your moderator for this session. महिला मन्त्रालय, राष्ट्रिय मानव अधिकार आयोग र मर्यादित महिनावारीको लागि दक्षिणीय गोलार्धीय सञ्जालको संयुक्त आयोजनामा हुन गइरहेको यो अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय कार्यशाला गोष्ठी को हामी ओपनिङ सेरेमनीमा छौं र अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय कार्यक्रम भएकाले हामीसँग थुप्रै देशबाट सहभागीहरू हामीलाई जोइन गर्नुभएको छ भर्चुअली र हामीलाई स्टुडियोमा पनि। त्यसैले मुख्यतया यस कार्यक्रम हामी अंग्रेजी भाषामै गर्नेछौं र आवश्यक अनुसार ट्रान्सलेसनको पनि सुविधा उपलब्ध गराउनेछौं। Some of you are present here with us in auditorium, but many of you are joining us virtually because of the current situation of the pandemic. We have participants from different countries, from various time zones, but all of us, we are gathered here today for one single cause. We will be learning and sharing our experiences in the next coming days as well. And we really hope that bringing all these experiences together from all around the world, we can definitely combat all the shame, taboos around menstruation. Apart from the gracious presence of our Honorable Minister of Women, Children and Senior Citizen, we are also going to launch a book today, so I'm just giving you the highlight of the event. So before I proceed, I really would like to acknowledge the presence of our chief guest of this event, Honorable Minister Leelanath Shrestha, Minister of Women, Children and Senior Citizen. And joining us today, we also have Member of Parliament, Honorable Dr. Bimla Rai Paudel with us in the studio. And we will shortly be joined by other ministers and respected guests. Some of us will be coming and joining us here in the studio, while some of us will join us virtually, and I will definitely update you about their special presence. So to move forward, we will be formally inaugurating the event by lighting the oil lamp. र यस कार्यक्रममा हामी formally inaugurate गर्नुभन्दा अगाडि राष्ट्रिय गानको पालो रहेको यहाँ जानकारी गराउन चाहन्छु. So I would like to request our technical team to make the necessary arrangement for national anthem, and then we will proceed towards the formal inaugural session. Thank you so much.
ढुङ्गा फुलका हामी एउटै माला नेपाली सार्वभौमै फैलिएका मेची महाकाली सायो ढुङ्गा फुलका हामी एउटै माला नेपाली सार्वभौमै फैलिएका मेची महाकाली प्रकृतिका कोटि कोटि सम्पदाको आचला वीरहरूका राजधानी भूमि शान्ति भूमि तराई पहाड हिमाल अखण्ड यो प्यारो हाम्रो मातृभूमि नेपाल बहु जाति भाषा धर्म संस्कृति छ विशाल अग्रगामी राष्ट्र हाम्रो जय जय नेपाल.
Thank you so much. Now I would like to once again call upon our Honorable Minister, Minister of Women, Children and Senior Citizen, to formally inaugurate our event by lighting the oil lamp. माननीय मन्त्रीज्यूलाई कार्यक्रम उद्घाटन गरिदिनु हुनुको लागि अनुरोध गर्दछु पानसमा दीप प्रज्वलन गरेर. Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. Now we will move forward with the welcome speech. Virtually, I would like to request Mr. Prashadvatrai, Secretary of National Human Rights Commission, Nepal, for a short welcome speech. We are looking for him online. I'm sure he have already joined us in advance. And also, okay, I can see him now. Yes, sir, you may continue. सर हजुरको म्युट भएको छ, अनम्युट गरेर सुरु गर्दा हुन्छ. राष्ट्रिय मानव अधिकारको सचिवज्यू हामीसँग आइसक्नु भएको छ र हामीले स्क्रिनमा पनि देखिरहेका छौं र उहाँलाई स्वागत मन्तव्यको लागि म अनुरोध गर्दछु.
त्यताको अडियो आइरहेको छैन.
सचिवज्यू हामीले हजुरको अडियो सुन्न सकिरहेका छैनौं.
अहिले आयो?
हजुर ठीक छ सचिवज्यू.
आएछ?
हजुर.
ल धन्यवाद. Thank you Samiksha ji. Honorable Chair of the Program, Honorable Minister, Honorable Member of Parliament, Rights Activists, distinguished delegates, journalists. It is my pleasure to be here with you and to welcome you all on behalf of NHRC Nepal and GSC CDM. We are here today to discuss on the issue of dignity and human rights of women, those who are stigmatized, discriminated, restricted, abused and violated due to their natural status of life cycle, menstruation. A minor respect or a symbol of humanity may be enough to make someone realize they are dignified. Dignity doesn't seek a huge space, neither it requires a huge amount of budget to implement. As I saw in the book of Ms. Radha Paudel, not only in Nepal but also across the world, there are some complications to the woman to remain as dignified during the menstruation period. The degree of discrimination or stigmatization or ill treatment may vary in the society, but the problem exists across the world. When we see such type of situations on the ground of basic human rights and from the lens of CEDAW, it's an extremely serious type of human rights violation. No discrimination, abuses or restriction is excused on the ground of sex or origin. No rights can be curtailed on the ground of one's marital or sexual status or their life cycle. When I remember my childhood, my mother, my sisters were used to be isolated during their menstruation period. My mind was always curious about the mystery and the cause of isolation. When I grown up, I came to know that the menstruation process is the foundation of continuation of the existence of human beings. Thus, we should look this state of woman with high respect. In the poor economic society, the people of isolation becomes more discriminatory and painful. Many youngster girls and women have lost their lives due to the cold, snake bites, rape and attacks of wild animals, etc. in Nepal. I hope such type of international workshop can be productive to protect the rights of women and eliminate the social malpractices from the globe. The society can be changed through the social activism, human rights education, and the proper implementation of laws related to anti-discrimination. The duty bearers should have to be should have to feel their important role to eliminate such type of discriminatory behavior and practices from the society and to respect, protect and fulfill the human rights of women and girls. I welcome you all once again and wish you for the grand success of this international workshop scheduled for coming 3 days. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vaturai, for the welcome speech, and we also would like to thank you for the continuous support to move forward dignified menstruation. Coming up next, we have got Inaugural Song, and Inaugural Song is being presented by Jupri Bhandari, who also represents women with disability, and she is also representing rural community. So I kindly request Jupri for the Inaugural Song. Thank you so much. Like I said before, she also represents women with disability, and normally we assume that somebody who can't speak.
हजुर मैले सुरुमा त मैले छाउ पनि लुकाएँ मलाई देवदेवताप्रति पनि विश्वास थिएन मैले छाउ पनि लुकाएँ त्यसपछि अब म डिरिसिबिन भएको कारणले मैले छाउ लुकाउन सकेन आफ्नो छाउ बढी गोठ नभएको हुनाले म टाढा पनि बसेँ गोठमा पालाली पनि बसेँ पाटामा पनि बसेँ छाता उडी पाल्तो उडी पनि मेघ आएको बेला पनि बसियो
पानी परेको बेला तपाईले पाल टाँगेर हैन अनि छाता उडेर पनि तपाई बस्नुभयो कस्तो कस्तो दुःख हुन्थ्यो झुप्रेजी
हजुर अब दुःख त अब धेरै दुःख पाइयो अब एक त हामी अब डिरिसिबिन भएको हुनाले अब नाउला पनि लाग्न दिन आएन धारा पनि लाग्न दिन आएन अब घर नजिकै 7 दिन नभइकन आउन दिन आएनन् दुःख त एकदमै दुःखै भयो हजुर पाल्नो टाँगेर पनि पाटामा पनि बसियो पानी परेको बेला बसियो रात बसेरै काटियो रात बसेर रात बितियो अब के गर्नु
त्यो दिनलाई सम्झिदाखेरि कस्तो लाग्छ हजुरलाई अहिले
हजुर एकदमै दुःख लाग्छ अहिले पनि दुःख त हामीलाई दुःखै छ अहिले पनि अब आँखा नभएको कारणले अब नुहाउनु धुनु त्यो पनि अठवरै छ भए पनि पहिलेको भन्दा अहिले अब पहिलेको दिन सम्झे त एकदमै दुःख लाग्छ अहिले त सजिलै छ
अहिले के गर्नुहुन्छ तपाई महिनावारी अथवा छाउ भएको बेलामा
हजुर अहिले म महिनावारी भएको बेला घरमै बस्छु अहिले हजुर अब बुवा आमाले अब पहिले त अब सुरुमा त बस्न दिएनन् घरमा आग लाग्छ बाग लाग्छ देवदेवता रेसान छन् गाई भैँसी दुध दिँदैनन् भन्नासी अहिले त्यस्तो केही छैन छाउ पनि लुकाए केही वर्ष घरभित्रै बसे छाउ पनि लुकाए धेरै दुःख पाए चिसो गोठ सर्पकी डर धेरै दुःख पाए धेरै दुःख पाए चिसो गोठ सर्पकी डर धेरै दुःख पाए छाउ भएका बेला नाउला धारा लाग्न पाइन छाउ भएका बेला गाउँ समाजकीला अपाङ्ग हुनाले हो कि गाउँ समाजकीला पहिले बाहिर सरी म पनि पालाली बसे पहिले बाहिर सरी सरसफाई गरी छाउ लुकाउन सकिएन सरसफाई गरी सरसफाई गरी छाउ लुकाउन सकिएन सरसफाई गरी को छाउ पढीलाई गई धारा कुवा सुकी गए को छाउ पढीलाई गई 7 दिन भई आई गई घर आग लाग्छ वन बाग लाग्छ 7 दिन भई आई गई हिँड्नु पनि डर छाउ पढी अटेका बाटा हिँड्नु पनि भयो र बसे भन्छन् घर देवी देउता रिसाना छन् बसे भन्छन् घर यथमुथि मलाई देवी देउता के दिने हुन् यथमुथि मलाई 7 दिन कठिन खाइ म संसारी देखिने केही नै 7 दिन कठिन खाइ गाह्रो भयो छाउ भई मिलेन घरभित्र बसिनु गाह्रो भयो छाउ भई सक्दैन टाढा गई टाढै छ छाउ पडी बसिने सक्दैन टाढा गई बाहिर सरी पर बाध्यताले बस्नु पर्यो बाहिर सरी पर बाध्यताले बस्नु पर्यो बाहिर सरी पर कहिले जाउँला घर कहिले मलाई साथ दिनुहुन्न कहिले जाउँला घर के लागि होई खोट यति राम्रा बाली भैँस के लागि होई खोट के लागि होई खोट यति राम्रा बाली भैँस के लागि होई खोट बर्खा चिसा गोठ छाउ भए कसरी बसु बर्खा चिसा गोठ छाउ भए कसरी बसु बर्खा चिसा गोठ
Thank you very much, Jupri Bhandari. That was definitely more than just a song. It was really powerful. And we sort of have so many excuses. We have so many social assumptions that, okay, women from rural Nepal can't do this. Women with disability can't do this. But her song, her experience definitely shares that, and more importantly her confidence tells her one important thing, that we are definitely we are bigger than our excuses and societal assumption, and we all are capable of fighting against this century-old tradition of menstrual restrictions. As I stated before, that in this workshop we will be giving space for experiences, as we believe that experiences are really powerful tool of sharing knowledge. Coming up next, we have an experience sharing from all the way from Uganda, and she is Esther Kazike, and Kazike is also the founding member of Global South Coalition for Dignified Menstruation. We kindly request you to share your experience with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. My name is Esther Kazike, the director of Kawempe Youth Center in Uganda. Good morning and good day to all distinguished members from all over the world. It's a pleasure to be part of this day. I will begin off with a story. When I started menstruation, my mother took me through a ritual that I would have a monthly period for 3 days. And then she said, "You are now a woman." And that was all. The rest I taught myself, because she never sat me down to tell me all about what was happening to me, and that was it. So I learned to take care of myself throughout the course of my life until today. So that is what happens in most cases to many of the girls here in Uganda and all over the world. Like in all other countries, the subject of menstruation is often a taboo and has many negative cultural attitudes associated with it, including the idea that menstruating women and girls are contaminated, dirty, and impure. So like the study says, over 500 million women and girls in the world lack access to gender-sensitive facilities and menstrual products. It's the same here in Uganda, especially in rural settings, and in particular girls in schools. suffer most from stigma and lack of services and facilities to help them cope with the physical and psychological pains that they undergo during menstrual periods. The Ugandan culture, menstruation is linked to maturity and is often taken as a mark of adulthood for girls. Like you heard, my mother said, you are now a woman. I remember teachers telling us that no man should touch you, and that was it. So it was upon you to try and find out what is the hidden information here. Men should not touch you. So I'm menstruating and men should not touch me. So we had to go an extra mile to find out why men shouldn't touch me. Why shouldn't men touch girls? In our culture, there is inadequate preparation for girls not yet experiencing menstrual hygiene. We are usually prepared to become mothers at that early age without so much knowledge. Our health education system is focused on reproductive health and family planning, while menstrual health management is very often an afterthought. Mothers are typically the main source of information, but to many girls, some of these mothers are illiterate and have no information whatsoever about menstruation. Disposable towels are very expensive and unavailable in especially rural settings. Like in all other countries, many girls don't have access to these products, and they end up using inappropriate material like cloth, leaves, cow dung, making holes in the ground to be able to menstruate the number of days. So in most spaces, there are no private space and washrooms, and there's inappropriate facilities for disposal of materials for those who have used pads. We have an example of the COVID time. Many of the girls in my community, it's a rural urban community, were sleeping in houses of more than 10 people in the house, and they had no way of disposing material. They had a challenge with disposing these pads or washing the reusable pads. So this is lacking in so much of our communities, and it's a very big problem. In the absence of such poor quality material, girls withdraw, even women, from public spaces, including school and community activities. Many of the girls and women face stigma, isolation, embarrassment, and too much stress because of the menstruation. But in Uganda, after the first National Menstrual Hygiene Management Conference that was held on 14th August 2014 in Kampala, there has been a number of several positive steps taken to promote menstrual hygiene in the country. In the National Development Plan, the government committed to design and implement partnership frameworks to address social, cultural, and other barriers to girls' and boys' attendance and retention in schools. In 2015, the government, together with its partners, signed a charter committing to promote the rights of girls and women during and after the menstrual cycle. There has also been a number of efforts to promote menstrual health management in Uganda, which include VAT waivers on imported sanitary towels, guidelines to separate stances for girls, especially in schools, institutionalization of senior women positions in schools, and local production of reusable sanitary pads, especially through the CSOs, like the Afri pads, the Maka pads. These empower girls to make reusable sanitary pads, which is helping us a lot. In the 2017 budget, there was an attempt to incorporate menstrual hygiene under the pre-primary and primary education vote. In conclusion, it's very important that we do not just hand out sanitary materials, as most CSOs are doing. We are doing a lot of handing out of sanitary materials. We are helping girls make pads. We are counseling them and guiding them. But it's also very important to focus on providing private and very safe spaces for menstrual health hygiene. Girls need to understand what is happening to their bodies during menstruation and why they are menstruating. It's also very critical that boys, as well as male teachers and parents, members of the school management, have a good understanding of menstruation as well as the needs for girls. By bringing boys and men on board too, this will reduce stigma, embarrassment, and shame. I wish you all a happy International Dignified Menstruation Day 2020. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for sharing that experience all the way from Uganda. And I was also, while listening to her, I was just saying that how similar our experience, irrespective of these different time zones and different continents that we are living in. Like I stated in the beginning, the highlight of this inaugural session is definitely the book launch. But before that, we are also very much honored by the gracious presence of Minister of Communication and Information Technology, Honorable Parbat Gurung. So we would like to welcome him on the stage. He has already been seated, and I also need to say that before he was a Minister of Communication, he was also the former Minister of Women, Children and Senior Citizen, and has played a significant role in mainstreaming dignified menstruation in programs and activities of the government of Nepal. माननीय मन्त्री पार्वत गुरुङज्यूलाई स्वागत गर्दै अबको काममा अब भने हामी किताब पुस्तक विमोचनतर्फ अगाडि बढ्न गइरहेका छौं. And in order to formally launch the book, I would like to request Honorable Minister of Women, Children and Senior Citizen, Leelanath Shrestha, Honorable Minister of Communication, Information and Technology, Parbat Gurung, and Member of Parliament, Dr. Bimla Rai Paudel, and three of our honorable guests will be inaugurating the book here, and we are also very lucky, I would say. We have the support from a wider community, and we are also being joined by Member of Parliament, Dr. Binda Pandey, and we also have Niru Devi Pal, Chair of Women and Social Development Committee, and importantly we also have the presence of Minister of Education and Science and Technology, Honorable Giriraj Mani Pokhrel, who has also joined us virtually, and we also have Vice Chair of SIDA Committee, Bandana Rana, and I also would like to request Editor of the book, Radha Paudel, and Secretary of National Human Rights Commission, Bed Vaturai, to jointly launch this very important book titled Dignified Menstruation, a Practical Handbook. Thank you very much, and let me tell you that this book is definitely a milestone. It has contributions of 44 authors from 22 countries, and like I already informed, the book has been edited by heart and soul of dignified menstruation, I must say, Radha Paudel. And I would like to thank Honorable Minister Parbat Gurung, Honorable Minister Leelanath Shrestha, Dr. Bimla Rai Paudel, Honorable Minister of Education, who is joining us virtually, and all honorable and respected guests for helping us to jointly launch this book, and we definitely look forward to reading this. Thank you very much. Now I would like to call upon Honorable Member of Parliament, Dr. Bimla Rai Paudel, who has also been in this journey of dignified menstruation with us for quite some time. So Dr. Paudel, I would like to request you for the short speech.
Respected Chair of the session, all women who are joined today by this Zoom, the virtually. I salute all women who were behind, all dignitaries, all respected guests, everyone who have made this event today. I salute dear Radhaji. I salute you for your dedication and for all your efforts to organize this very important event today. I have been in the link from the morning today, and I have heard many dignitaries and panelists who spoke in the event today. Respected Minister of Ministry of Women, respected Minister of Ministry of Communication, respected Member of Parliaments who have just joined here now, and all respected dignitaries. Namaste from this desk. I first of all salute to Global South Coalition for Dignified Menstruation, Radha Paudel Foundation, and all involved in organizing this very important event. This event has also showed that if women want, the COVID cannot stop organizing this global movement. So congratulations. And also congratulations to Ministry of Women who have supported and who have been engaged in this process from the beginning, showing us that the ministry is a leader and ministry is engaged very actively to talk about and to act on dignified menstruation in Nepal. So congratulations, dear Minister. What I heard from the morning today is we need to break the silence. We need to start thinking about it. We need to talk about dignified menstruation. And this book has broken the silence today. So once again, congratulations, Radha Paudel. And I just want to, all of you who have joined with Zoom link today, to clap for Radhaji. And I request here also to clap Radhaji for making this book possible. I know there are so many authors who have written their experience in this book, but the true dedication of compiling everything, coordinating the writers, and bringing everything in this book was really a very, very good effort, very, very strong effort, and you have made it. Tons of congratulations to everyone who have written, and tons of congratulations to everyone who have supported Radhaji in this moment. Radhaji came to me and asked me to write few things about my experience of menstruation. I couldn't deny, and I wrote a small piece of my experience here. But dear friends, I just want to say that the time had changed and time is changing. My mom, who is 98 years now, she was married at the age of 9, and she stayed in another's house, and a kind of shed that we say, during her first menstruation for 3 weeks. And then when my turn came, my first period was at 12 years, and I had to stay for 1 week in another's room, another's neighbor's house. That I have written in this as my experience here. I have gone through all the sufferings, and the first day of my period, a feeling came to me, and I experienced how menstruation disempowers women. And this is the thought I already had. But when I educated, and I got education, and I started working, slowly I took out all the restrictions from me, and economic independence made me possible to release all the barriers. My daughter, who is now at the age of 12, she had first period at the age of 12, and we made a great celebration at home. My husband, me, and entire family, her brother, entire family made a great celebration because we were celebrating the womanhood. We were telling our daughter that, congratulations, daughter, you have become a woman now. You have become a creator now. You can create human being now. So that is a reason of celebration. So, dear friends, I was just telling how the time is changing, how the things are happening. So there's no reason to regret. There's no reason to feel sad. There is a reason to celebrate that things are changing. But still, for some people, the things have changed, but still for many women in this world, things are still not changed. So we need to really think about those things, and this is where we have started talking about it. We have started thinking about it, and we now need to act on it. So I just want to say that for this action, now we have started to talk about it. Now we need to act on it, and when we are acting, it's very important to know who needs to act on it. And for me, Jhopri Bhandari has already shown that the women have started to act on their own. Radha Paudel Foundation and all other campaigners who are in Nepal and abroad, who have joined today in the Zoom, everyone has shown that we have started to act. But the group who are still lagging behind in this action is politicians. The politicians need to demonstrate themselves as a model, to demonstrate themselves what is dignified menstruation and why it is important. And when politicians start demonstrating, when politicians start making law to ensure that women release all the barriers that are making troubling her during the menstruation, law is made in Nepal. In Nepal, we have a law now that criminalizes the discrimination during the period, and that is an important act from the politicians. But we are still lagging behind to demonstrate. I'm telling again, women politicians, I have seen number of women politicians. I don't know it is only in Nepal or elsewhere as well. We still believe that menstruation is a sin. So when women politicians still believe, and we segregate ourselves during these beautiful days of 5 days, then how can we expect the world will change towards the dignified menstruation? That's why I'm telling you that the men and women politicians, men and women bureaucrats, men and women activists, everyone needs to act now, and this is the next step for us. I thank you all for joining us today, and thank you Radha Paudel-ji and the organizers for calling me here. I'm very honored to present here and to talk about menstrual dignity today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Dr. Paudel, for your important contribution in the book and for that powerful experience sharing. Women like you definitely inspire us and all women around the world. And thank you so much for rightly pointing out towards political commitment, which is definitely very much important to realize our dream of dignified menstruation. Now, I would also like to welcome one of our guests for this event, Member of Parliament Anita Debkota. Honorable Anita Debkota is already present with us, so I would like to welcome on behalf of the organizers. Like I informed you a little earlier that Minister of Communication and Information Technology is with us. So for now, I would like to request Honorable Minister, who is also the spokesperson of the government of Nepal, र माननीय सञ्चार तथा सूचना प्रविधि मन्त्रालयका मन्त्रीज्यू माननीय पार्वत गुरुङज्यू हामीसँग आइसक्नु भएको छ र उहाँलाई म मन्तव्यको लागि अनुरोध गर्न चाहन्छु. And after that, I will come up with a summary translation in English. Thank you so much.
धन्यवाद छ समीक्षाजी. आज अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय कार्यशाला गोष्ठीको कार्यक्रमका अध्यक्षज्यू, माननीय महिला बालबालिका तथा ज्येष्ठ नागरिक मन्त्रालय मन्त्रीज्यू, माननीय राष्ट्रिय सभाका माननीय सदस्यज्यूहरू र उपस्थित कार्यक्रममा राष्ट्रिय अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय रूपमा रहनुभएका सम्पूर्ण प्रतिनिधि एवं प्रमुखज्यूहरू, म विशेषतः राधा फाउन्डेसनका राधा पौडेलजीलाई विशेष धन्यवाद व्यक्त गर्न चाहन्छु. उहाँले नेपाल सरकारसँग महिला बालबालिका ज्येष्ठ नागरिक मन्त्रालयसँग समन्वय गर्दै मर्यादित महिनाहरूको अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय यो कार्यशाला गोष्ठी, यो दोस्रो कार्यशाला गोष्ठी सुरुवात गरिरहनु भएको छ. म पहिलो कार्यशाला गोष्ठी म महिला बालबालिका ज्येष्ठ नागरिक मन्त्रालयको मन्त्री हुँदाखेरि यसलाई हामीले यसको कोभिड-19 को समस्या हुँदाहुँदै पनि हामीले भव्य रूपमा यसलाई सम्पन्न गरेका थियौँ। अहिले पनि हामीलाई कोभिडको कारणले हाम्रो यो अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय कार्यशाला गोष्ठीलाई हामी भर्चुअल मार्फत नै सम्पन्न गर्न गइरहेका छौँ। म विशेषतः नेपाल सरकारले पनि यसरी हाम्रा धर्म संस्कृति हाम्रा परम्पराहरू असल परम्परालाई संरक्षण गर्दै हाम्रा समाजमा रहेका हानिकारक अभ्यासहरूलाई र हाम्रो छाउपडी गोर जस्ता हाम्रा कलङ्क रहेका यसलाई अन्त्य गर्नको निम्ति र विविध महिला हाम्रोमा समस्या देखा परेका त्यस्ता सामाजिक कुरीति कुसंस्कारको अन्त्य गर्नको निम्ति र मर्यादित महिनावरीको यसलाई रूपमा अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय रूपमै पनि यसलाई सम्पन्न गर्नको निम्ति जसरी हामीले यो कार्यक्रमलाई आयोजना गरिरहेका छौँ र राधाजीले आफूलाई एउटा पुस्तकको रूपमा पनि यसलाई अगाडि ल्याउनु भएको छ र आज त्यसको विमोचन पनि भएको छ। यसको निम्ति म राधाजीलाई पनि धेरै धन्यवाद व्यक्त गर्न चाहन्छु र यो कार्यक्रममा राष्ट्रिय अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय रूपमा रहनुभएका सबै प्रतिनिधिहरूलाई पनि अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय कार्यशाला गोष्ठी सम्पन्न गर्नको निम्ति तपाईहरुको जुन योगदान रहेको छ सबैप्रति म धन्यवाद पनि व्यक्त गर्दै म हिजो महिला बालबालिका ज्येष्ठ नागरिक मन्त्रालयमा त यो हुँदा यो मुद्दालाई मैले उठाइरहने होइन, म सञ्चार मन्त्रालयमा आएर पनि अझ सञ्चार क्षेत्रबाट पनि यसलाई अझ मर्यादित रूपबाट मर्यादित महिनाहरूलाई मर्यादित ढङ्गबाट यो सञ्चार क्षेत्रबाट पनि यसको प्रचार प्रसार गर्नको निम्ति जनताको बीचमा जनचेतना पुर्याउनको निम्ति र हामी सबैले यो मर्यादित महिनाहरूलाई र हानिकारक अभ्यास र हाम्रो छाउपडी गोर जस्ता कलङ्क रहेका हाम्रा अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय रूपमै कलङ्क रहेका यस्ता प्रथालाई अन्त्य गर्नको निम्ति हामी अभियानको निम्ति सञ्चार क्षेत्रबाट पनि म योगदान गर्नेछु भन्ने मेरो आफ्नो प्रतिबद्धता व्यक्त गर्दै आयोजकप्रति पनि धन्यवाद व्यक्त गर्दै म आफ्नो भनाइ पनि यही अन्त्य गर्दै शुभकामना व्यक्त गर्न चाहन्छु। धन्यवाद।
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister Parbat Gurung, for that very important speech. And Honorable Minister, who is also the former Minister of Women, Children and Senior Citizen, was recalling the celebration of first International Dignified Menstruation Day, which we conducted under his leadership. And he has also expressed commitment to continue this campaign. Although his ministry portfolio had changed and he is with the Communication Ministry, he has expressed the commitment to continue the hopefully through media campaign as he is heading the Communication Ministry. Thank you so much for encouraging and thank you so much for your participation. And now we will move towards a book review, and we have been honored that Honorable Parliamentarian Dr. Brinda Paudel has agreed. I'm sorry. Dr. Brinda Pandey has agreed to review the book. So I would like to request Honorable Pandey to provide a short book review, and she is joining us virtually. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sound is okay?
Yes, please.
Yeah, because my net is very fluctuating today, so I'm not sure whether I can complete my review here. So thank you very much. So dear Chair and all the guests, delegates and dignified personalities participating in this program physically as well as the virtually, because I'm seeing ministers and parliamentarian, and then even I'm seeing Kamladi also virtually, she is joining here. So I'd like to express my sincere namaste to everybody. And actually it is my pleasure and opportunity to be the part of this conference and talk upon this book, Dignified Menstruation. So it is really very good book. So in that case, let me start with a huge congratulations to Radha Paudelji for the incredible work of collecting the global information on socio-cultural norms and practices during the menstruation and brought as a book. So it would be really a good source to know under the name of the social norms and the value how the patriarchy is dominating and discriminating women in systematic way. We are in the 21st century, and we are saying that this century is a women's century. This is the century of the science and technology. But still, the stereotypic way of the human thinking, living, and the behaving has not been changed.
I think we have having a little bit of technical difficulties. We'll wait for a few seconds, and we really hope her internet connection will stabilize so we can hear about the book review that we have launched. The book on dignified menstruation, our practical handbook. We have contributions from various continents, various authors, activists, people from the government, and different sectors who have contributed in this book. I think we can connect Honorable Pandey once he comes back, and we can maybe move forward towards next speaker. So I would like to request.
Hello?
Yes, please continue. We were having technical difficulties.
I'm really sorry. So
it's all right. Please
going
continue.
To off my video. Shall I continue?
Yes, please. Please switch on your video
I was just saying
too.
That these taboos and the practices, it is a discriminatory, and after all, it is a part of the gender violence. And the concept of the impurity, it is not only the marginalizing the women socially and culturally in the family and society. It has affect all the business community and then the women's economic well-being as well. Women are stigmatized and discriminated even at the workplace and economic activities. This book actually brought me back to the decade of the 1990, when the Nepali people, they just, they re-established the democracy through the people's movement. Then I as an activist, started to organize the women workers. So during that time, we found that women workers, they were neither allowed to work in the food processing factories nor paid for the period of the 4 days per month during the menstruation. So later, when the trade union took over this issue, demanded either way to work or pay as leave, then this rule was over. But still, women were not allowed to work in the packaging area of the final processed food of And when I was working in the Committee for Asian Women in 94 to 97, I learned it is not only the problem of Nepal. For example, in Indonesia, women used to get the menstruation leave that time, but they were asked to prove with the bloody sanitary pad. It was huge humiliation to working women. It was not only limited in the Indonesia and the Nepal. Women workers from the many more countries of the world were facing these kinds of problem, and which now has been compiled as a book by Radhaji. Now this book has systematically gathered all this information and happening over women's lives in a broad way. It has given how the menstruation period affects the women's physically, mentally, as well as the psychologically, which is very useful to work and fight for the cause. Similarly, it has collected the information from the different geographical region like Asia Pacific, Europe, Americas, and African region. At the same time, it has covered the religious perspective and practices as well. Finally, it has mentioned that menstruation, it is a political issue linked with health hazard, and it affects the women's severe problematic during the period as headache, backache, vomiting, and many other way, and it need to be taken as the issue, and then the women may need the rest during that time. But most of the country do not recognize this this as an the issue to need the address properly by the state, society, family, and even the citizen with the dignity. So at the end, let me mention as a good example of Nepal, our movement took up the issue since last 3 decades, and then finally state has identified the chhaupadi as a crime, and the state has responded with the criminal law and leading campaign to end the chhau hut, which is still going on, and then all the movement they are also taking this issue up. So that now Nepal, it is in the economic and socio-cultural transition, and the violence against women, including the issue of the chhaupadi, means this the menstruation, it is on the agenda. I hope in few years, we may have another good news to share with the global community as a positive step forward in this regard. And finally, this book might one of the tool to connect the global movement in one place for the cause of the overcoming the patriarchy with achievement of the violence, free human society based on equality and the social justice. So I like to congratulate Radhaji again, developing as a, bringing up one of the tools to connect the whole old movement for the gender violence less, gender violence free human society, and then the living with the dignity. So let me remain here with best wishes for all the success of the conference. So thank you very much for providing me this opportunity. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Brinda Pandey, for the book review and your continuous support in the area of gender equality, and also particularly on the area of dignified menstruation, and we really look forward for your support in coming days as well. Now, after the book launch, we are again continuing our inaugural session as scheduled. So I would like to make room for a interesting musical video. Although we're planning for a movie, it couldn't happen because of the COVID-19. So this has been directed by Mr. Lakshman Rizal, and I would like to take help from our technical team to present this musical video on dignity. Thank you.
सक्दिन सक्दिन सहारा वरदान हुने बाबार दाता प्रकृतिकै उपहार
Thank you very much. That was a really inspiring short film by film director Lakshman Rizal on dignity. We definitely need various media contents and even the content, the book that we have launched, so that we all can be together and we can learn from each other's experience on the issue of dignity around menstruation. Moving forward to inaugural session, I would like to request Anna Soetomo, who is joining us from Indonesia. She is founding member of Global South Coalition for Dignified Menstruation. So I would like to call upon Anna for her experience sharing all the way from Indonesia. Thank you. Anna, can you also switch on your video so we can see you as well? I'll take, yes, Anna, can you hear us? Yes, please, we can see you now. We would like to request you for your experience sharing as a founding member of Global South Coalition for Dignified Menstruation. Are we having some technical difficulties? Okay, technically we are all connected. So Anna, can you hear us? So maybe we move forward and we'll wait for Anna to respond back so we can give her space for experience sharing. So now I would like to request Dinah Danjebrink from the UK. She couldn't actually join us live, but she has sent us a very wonderful video clip. So she will be sharing her experience through this video clip, and Dinah is a menopause activist.
Hi everyone, I'm Dinah Danjebrink. I'm really sorry that I can't be with you in person on the conference today, but I wanted to record a little video which is in support of everything that you are all doing. I am the founder of the Menopause Support Campaign, #MakeMenopauseMatter. So this is our campaign, and our campaign is very focused on better care and support of all women who are experiencing menopause. So Radha had asked me to tell you a little bit about how I got here and why I'm so passionate about campaigning for better menopause care and support for every woman around the world. And essentially my own experience of menopause was very poor. Unfortunately, I had to have surgery, taking my womb, my ovaries and my cervix, which put me into an immediate surgical menopause back in 2012. And prior to my surgery and after my surgery, I wasn't given the right information and advice about the potential challenges of having my ovaries removed at the age of 44. putting me essentially into, as I say, an immediate surgical menopause, but also into a state of estrogen deprivation. And for me, the result of that surgery and the lack of information that went with it meant that I didn't get the right treatment at the right time. And consequently, that had a huge psychological effect on me, very much affected my mental health. And I came to a very, very dark place in my life. I was incredibly fortunate that I had a supportive husband and supportive mother who helped me to get the right support. But during that time, I spent a lot of time searching online to see if anybody felt as lonely and felt as if they were going mad the way that I did. And sadly, I found thousands of women all over the world saying things like, please help me, I think I'm going mad, or I feel so alone, I don't know who I am anymore, I'm struggling with my work, I'm struggling with my relationship. And it made me wonder, how could it possibly be back then in 2012, how if every single woman was going to experience menopause, how it could be that the education, information, advice and support around menopause, not just for the public, but also for healthcare professionals, was so poor. And I made a promise to myself that if I ever felt like me again, I would make sure that I did something to change it. So I'm delighted to tell you that, as I say, I launched the hashtag Make Menopause Matter campaign with 3 aims. The first of those aims was to have mandatory menopause education for all doctors. The second was to have menopause support in the workplace. And the third was to have menopause included in the new RSE curriculum, which is Relationships and Sex Education curriculum, in secondary school education. And I launched the campaign in Parliament in October 2018, and we actually achieved one of those aims, having education included in having menopause included in secondary school education, in July of 2019, and it was included from September 2020. So we have made some progress, but we still have a huge mountain to climb to ensure that every woman around the world has the right information about menopause, and that every doctor has the right education about menopause to be able to help those women, so that we have fewer women who are suffering in silence. It's absolutely vital. We are certainly becoming a movement. We are definitely a community. So it's vital that we pull together as a community and as a movement to ensure that dignified menstruation, dignified menopause is something that is available to every woman around the world. So as I say, I'm really sorry that I can't be with you live, and I wish you the greatest of success with the conference. But let's all pull together, let's all work as a community to ensure that we make menstruation and we make menopause matter. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dinah, and your experience definitely tells us even how the women of the first world are struggling with various issues related to menstruation, very particularly because we don't talk about menopause. We don't talk about menopause at all. And please keep inspiring us and showing us the way forward. The role of private sector can also definitely not be ignored when we talk about combating menstrual restrictions and establishing dignified menstruation. Now I would like to request Mr. Nirvana Chaudhary, young entrepreneur and managing director of Chaudhary Foundation, for the speech.
Thank you so much, honorable dignitaries. Firstly, Radhaji, congratulations on the launch of your book. You might be wondering why my screen and my color of my pocket tie is orange. It's in line with the UN Secretary General's Unite to End Violence Against Women's campaign's official theme of 2020, which is Orange the World. Fund, respond, prevent, and collect. I remember in 2017, I was invited by Melinda Gates to come to London to participate in the UNFP 2020 summit. At that time, our foundation, having done collaborative work on different sectors, had not really done much work in the family planning sector. While I went to London, a speech was written, which I'd worked on. But just before I was going up to the stage and speaking amongst very honorable dignitaries at that time, including the head of DFED to some state leaders, I just got a notification on my phone, a news alert, and that was from back home that said that a 16-year-old girl had died because of a snake bite while she was kept in a cow shed. And I folded up my written speech, and at that time I spoke from my heart that as our foundation, as an individual, we'll be there to do whatever we can to help improve the entire menstruation situation in our country, if not the world. Based on that, our foundation has done a couple of work. We made 4 commitments in 2017. The first one was to help the government of Nepal. And in line with that, one of our very popular brands, YY, actually came up with a powerful campaign against the taboo of menstruation, especially focusing younger females as part of the campaign. And I'm happy that in the video we just saw right now, a part of that video that YY had made, which had millions of views across the world, was also featured. So I'm very happy about that. So communicating is a very essential part about this entire initiative. Similarly, in 2017, our foundation team also went on to a particular couple of districts in Nepal. We trained over 100 different women for livelihood and provided them with over 30 different machines for producing low-cost sanitary napkins at that time. We continued to do this for a period of 18 months, and this was part of our commitment number 1. Commitment number 2 was regarding primarily on the malnutrition of adolescent girls, maternal mothers, lactating mothers, and more especially female children. We came up with a program in partnership with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation called Palio Nepal, which was launched in November last year. And again, it's a campaign that helps in fortifying existing FMCG products that goes out in the market, which can help the next generation, which can help the women as well as mothers who are lactating to be able to produce and to be able to give that necessary strength to the next generation as well. From 2017, another commitment that we fulfilled already was regarding supporting a particular health mobile app. It was developed by USAID, if I'm not mistaken, a technology app called Khulduli, which was focusing to address and expand on the knowledge of adolescent sexual and reproductive health. So what we did was that we were supplying mobile phones, and we, along with the manufacturers, preloaded this heavy app into the phones and tied up with the telecom companies that people all across Nepal in English and Nepali language were able to access this particular app free of cost. They didn't have to download this heavy app. It was already preloaded on their phone. Well, I'm also very happy to mention to you that in ongoing our commitment on the UNFP, we have just completed a really, really powerful, innovative cultural and village for empowering the livelihood of women in Nawalparasi. The entire program focuses around training, focuses around representing of family planning, reproductive health. We've got a particular area there just for this particular initiative, apart from the livelihood support we're giving to women for protecting and promoting Nepalese artisan and craft in Nepal. We feel that livelihood and getting independence to women through education and livelihood is a very important, essential theme and part of this entire drive that we all are working towards. This particular initiative from Chaudhary Foundation, known as Unnati, will soon be launched in the next 1 or 2 months. So I'm extremely happy that we are continuously working towards these initiatives. As a son, as a man, as a husband, as a father, I'm extremely delighted that from Chaudhary Foundation, in our own humble way, we are doing whatever we can to promote to realize the essential value of menstruation. I think it's very important for the private sector, public sector, as well as the multilateral agencies to come together to share their knowledge. We feel we have the strength of an implementing partner, but we still lack the knowledge that goes on in this entire domain. So we are continuously open to continuing with various programs that's happening. We are pretty committed to the Sustainable Development Goals number 5, and as a matter of fact, even within our organization, we have almost 30% of the workforce which is women, and our plan is by 2030 we want to get this up to 50% in our entire Chaudhary group, which employs close to 15,000 people. Like they say that for us, education is a very, very important tool, especially in the rural area. We are now this year, 2021, we've developed a program through our 25 digital classrooms that is all across Nepal. We are developing a special program for educating girl child as well as the stakeholders in that particular village or that particular district that we are running this program on the awareness of hygiene and menstruation as well. We are leveraging technology, leveraging the already existing digital classrooms that we've built. At the end, all I would like to say is that, on behalf of Chaudhary Foundation and me personally, I'm committed in ensuring that we do a lot more work on this, on fulfilling our role, not only individually, but as a foundation for the UNFP goals and our commitments, which continue to grow. Lastly, you can educate a man, you only educate a man, but you educate a woman, you educate a generation. Radhaji, thank you so much for taking this initiative, for organizing this. I really want to congratulate you for your book launch, which is so necessary. And it was really good to listen to a lot of people, prior to me, and echoing the same sentiments. So wishing you all the very best, and well done, and please stay safe. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chaudhary, for your contribution and sharing your experience on what you and your organizations are doing on the area of menstrual activism. All around the world, we are celebrating 16 days of activism against gender-based violence to challenge violence against women and girls. But are we discussing enough when it comes to our very own issue of menstruation? Coming up next, we have Vice Chair of CEDA Committee, Bandana Rana. I would like to request Bandana Rana for the speech next.
Thank you, Samiksha. Am I heard? Because as Bindaji said, my internet is also fluctuating today, so hopefully I will be able to conclude my perspectives and sayings. But chair of this inaugural session, honorable ministers, honorable dignitaries who have joined this dialogue physically and virtually from around the world, including our very own mentor and feminist leader, Kamla Basin, and all those who have joined this very, very important international workshop on dignified menstruation. The word dignity, what does it mean to a girl child? I'm sure it means love, affection, to be able to play, run, speak, jump as her brother, in par with her brother, and to be able to be respected, to be confident in whatever she does. But unfortunately, the dignity of many young girls are trampled at a very young age due to the rigid restrictions related to menstruation and menstrual hygiene. And I would like to recall, like some of the speakers who did before me, recall a personal account of how this has affected me as well. I was 11 when I had my first menstruation, and I was then told that I need to stay in a dark room, confined in a dark room for 21 days. I was born in Kathmandu in a liberal family, and that I'm not supposed to see the sun and any male, particularly my brothers and my father. And the explanation that was given to me was that the men are powerful like the sun. The sun is powerful and the men are also powerful, but women during menstruation are inferior. So they should not, their shadow should not even be cast on the male as well as the sun. So that is the reason for the dark room, confined in the dark room for 21 days. I think my dignity was trampled then. I think I became a different person because before my menstruation, I was in very much, I enjoyed my life in close proximity with my brothers and the loving affection of my father. But the day I came out of from the isolation of menstruation, I was a different person because I could never share the same relation with my brothers and my father. And I think the complex that women are inferior was embedded in me in that. Perhaps, to cut the story short, perhaps the trauma that I faced, the complexities that I faced at that young age must have led me to the activism that I followed for now almost 2.5 decades on working for women's rights, on working with directly with women who face violence. And here I am at the CEDAW committee today.
As you were saying, the internet was a little unstable today, so we might have lost her signal. So I would like to thank
Am I heard?
Yes, please continue. We lost you for a moment.
I'm sorry about this.
Please continue.
Yes, all these while, okay. So I wanted to say that the CEDAW committee, the Article 5 of the CEDAW committee, addresses all kinds of restrictions and taboos and related to menstruation and menstrual hygiene. And we will bring it up with every member state who follow these rituals unchecked, trampling the dignity of young girls. And we also, in order to illustrate the importance of harmful traditional practices, the CEDAW, along with CRC, has come up with a General Recommendation 31 in 2014, which details out the negativity and the impact of harmful traditional practices, including the rituals and stigma related to menstruation. Coming back to the context of Nepal, I remember in 2011, when Nepal had a constructive dialogue with the CEDAW committee, the CEDAW committee asked Nepal to bring a law that criminalizes chowpatty or the isolation during menstruation. And after 2011, there was strengthened advocacy for the development and adoption of this kind of law from all quarters, particularly the civil society, who touched on the CEDAW committee recommendation to strengthen advocacy. And I'm happy to say, the reason I'm saying this is the CEDAW recommendations are a powerful tool. It's an obligation of a state to follow it. So based on the recommendation given by CEDAW, Nepal again reported in 2018 November, but in 2018 August, Nepal adopted the law on criminalizing chowpatty and restrictions related to menstruation. So here it is to some extent the pressure given by the CEDAW committee recommendations that obligates a state party to act on it. So, but then now, when it reported in 2018, though the CEDAW committee welcomed the adoption of the law criminalizing chowpatty, it also raised concern that Nepal needs to intensify awareness among all stakeholders on the law itself, but also monitor the enforcement of the law. Also build toilets, because almost 32% population in Nepal do not have access to toilets. and water and sanitation. So this is where Nepal needs to invest in. And I hope with the stakeholders that I have heard today, honorable ministers, honorable members of parliament, even business entrepreneurs like Nirban Chaudhary and his commitments, as well as all of the stakeholders, I do hope that Nepal will be able to intensify political commitment. We have 3 male ministers, powerful ministers today joining this dialogue. If only I agree with Bimla Rai Paudel, who said that the politicians need to take the lead. And I really hope that the CEDAW recommendations will be heeded too, and the politicians, together with the civil society and the private sector, will take a lead in ending this very heinous crime of trampling the dignity of young girls at a very young age, which will impact the potential throughout her life of her well-being. So I would like to thank Radhaji for the launch of the book, which I'm sure will contribute a lot to this initiative, and to take the leadership on this very, very important topic of a girl child's right to live and to live with dignity. I wish you all the best and success to the conference and the workshop. Thank you very much, and namaste.
Thank you so much, Bandana Rana, Vice Chair of CEDAW Committee, and we would like to thank on behalf of the organizers for your solidarity and for the continuous support, and we look forward for more in the future. Now I would like to request Shanta Vaturai, Secretary of National Women Commission. She's joining us online. Okay.
Thank you, Samiksha Madam. सबैजनामा नमस्कार। यस कार्यक्रमको अध्यक्षता गरिरहनु भएका माननीय मन्त्रीज्यू लगायत कार्यक्रममा उपस्थित हुनुभएको राष्ट्रिय अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय स्तरबाट वरिष्ठ व्यक्तित्वहरू कार्यक्रममा उपस्थित हुनुभएको छ। सम्पूर्णमा हार्दिक न्यानो अभिवादन गर्न चाहन्छु राष्ट्रिय महिला आयोगको तर्फबाट। सर्वप्रथम त यो एउटा मेन्स्ट्रुअल हाइजिनको विषयमा एउटा ग्लोबल, एउटा दक्षिण गोलार्धीय एउटा चाहिँ अभियानको रूपमा यो कार्यक्रम सञ्चालन भइरहेको छ। विगतमा महिलाको प्राकृतिक एउटा अवसरलाई, प्राकृतिक कुरालाई चाहिँ समस्याको रूपमा, एउटा पापको रूपमा, अपराधको रूपमा लिएर विभिन्न समुदाय, वर्ग, क्षेत्रमा र विश्वभरि नै कुनै न कुनै रूपमा यसलाई समस्याको रूपमा लिएर महिलाको प्रजन स्वास्थ्यमाथि एक किसिमको चुनौती पनि सिर्जना भइरहेको सन्दर्भमा हामीले यो अभियान जुन सुरु गरेर चाहिँ महिलामाथि हुने एउटा विभेद, जुन लैङ्गिक हिंसा विरुद्धको 16 दिने अभियान पनि अहिले हामी मनाइरहेका छौँ। र महिनावारी हुनु भनेको महिलामाथिको कुनै पनि विभेद होइन, महिलाको पाप पनि होइन, र बरु यो चाहिँ मानवको जन्मने एउटा महत्त्वपूर्ण प्राकृतिक उपहारको अवसरलाई चाहिँ नकारात्मक रूपमा हेर्ने परम्परा प्रथालाई अन्त्य गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने कुरालाई अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय रूपमा नै उठान गरेर चाहिँ यो कार्यक्रम आयोजना भइरहेको छ। र यो राधा फाउन्डेसनले यसको नेतृत्व लिएर हाम्रो राधा म्याडमले धेरै ठुलो मेहनत गरेर यो कुरा ल्याउनु भएको छ र एउटा पुस्तक पनि निकाल्नु भएको छ र त्यो पुस्तकको माध्यमबाट सम्पूर्णमा जानकारी गराउने, अनुभवहरू सेयर गर्ने र कहाँ कहाँ के कस्तो समस्या छ भन्ने बुझाउनको लागि यो पुस्तिकाले धेरै राम्रो रोल खेल्नेछ। नेपालमा पनि हाम्रो कतिपय वर्ग क्षेत्रमा, कतिपय उच्च वर्गमै पनि यो महिनावारीलाई समस्याको रूपमा लिने, छोइछिटोको रूपमा अहिले पनि प्रथा परम्पराहरू रहिरहेका छन्। ती कुराहरू चाहिँ हट्दै जानुपर्छ र महिलालाई चाहिँ सुरक्षित, सम्मानित र सरसफाइपूर्ण अवस्थामा यो महिनावारीको समयमा चाहिँ मर्यादापूर्ण रूपमा बाँच्न पाउने र यसलाई समस्याको रूपमा लिन नहुने कुरालाई चाहिँ कसरी प्रवर्धन गर्दै जाने भन्ने कुरा एकदमै महत्त्वपूर्ण छ। नेपाल सरकारले गत वर्षदेखि जुन सुदूरपश्चिम प्रदेशमा छाउपडी गोठ प्रथा थियो, त्यो उन्मूलनको लागि नै ठुलो अभियान चलाएको र त्यो अभियान निरन्तर छ। कानुनमा पनि समसामयिक संशोधन भइरहेको छ र जसले यो प्रथालाई जबरजस्ती मान्न बाध्य गराउँछ, उहाँहरूलाई कारबाहीको दायरामा ल्याउने र महिलाहरूको आत्मनिर्भरता, आत्मविश्वास जगाउने तर्फ चाहिँ समुदाय तहदेखि प्रदेश सरकार, केन्द्र सरकारसम्म अभियानमूलक कार्यक्रमहरू पनि हुनु हाम्रो लागि एउटा अवसर पनि हो। र एकदमै महिलाहरूलाई धर्मको नाममा चाहिँ डर देखाएर पनि यो महिनावारीलाई अहिले पनि दुर्गम क्षेत्रमा मात्रै होइन, सुगम हामी काठमाडौँ उपत्यकाभित्र नै पनि हेऱ्यौँ भने चाहिँ छाउपडी एक किसिमले बार्ने प्रचलन छ र यो कुनै न कुनै रूपमा संसारभरि पनि छ र यो चाहिँ जति सक्यो छिटो अन्त्य भयो भने मात्रै महिलामाथिको सम्पूर्ण विभेद हट्नेछ भन्ने हामीले सोच्नुपर्छ र यो स्टिगमा, यो आइसोलेसनलाई छिटोभन्दा छिटो चाहिँ हटाउन हामी सबै लाग्नुपर्छ। र त्यति मात्रै नभएर यसलाई चाहिँ एउटा सम्मानित बनाउनको लागि सरसफाइ सामग्रीको कुरा चाहिँ पानीयुक्त सुविधायुक्त चाहिँ टोयलेटहरूको व्यवस्था सम्पूर्ण कार्यालयमा, कार्य गर्ने क्षेत्रहरूमा र काममा जाँदा अथवा यात्रामा सवारीमा जहाँसुकै जाँदाखेरि पनि सरसफाइयुक्त टोयलेटहरू महिलाको लागि आवश्यक हुन्छ, त्यसको व्यवस्था गर्नुपर्ने कुरामा हामी सबैले जोड दिनुपर्छ। र यो चाहिँ एक व्यक्ति अथवा एउटा संस्थाले मात्रै गर्न सकिने कुरा पनि भएन। यो सङ्घीय सरकार, प्रदेश सरकार, स्थानीय सरकार लगायत राष्ट्रिय रूपमा रहेका गैर सरकारी संस्थाहरू, अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय गैर सरकारी संस्थाहरू र युएन एजेन्सीहरू सम्पूर्णको एकीकृत प्रयासबाट र चाहिँ सम्पूर्ण व्यक्ति, घर परिवार, समाजको सबैको सकारात्मक सोच भयो भने यो कुप्रथालाई हटाउन सकिन्छ र त्यसमा हामी सबै लागि परौँ। यसैको लागि म सबैमा शुभकामना व्यक्त गर्दै यो कार्यक्रमको लागि विशेष हार्दिक धन्यवाद दिँदै मलाई पनि केही शब्द बोल्ने मौका दिनुभएकोमा हार्दिक आभार व्यक्त गर्छु र कार्यक्रमको पूर्ण सफलताको कामना गर्दछु। हस्त धन्यवाद। नमस्कार सबैजनामा।
Thank you so much, Shanta Vaturai, Secretary of National Women Commission of Nepal. As she was pointing out that we definitely need to look the issue of menstruation beyond hygiene, and she also highlighted that the government has done remarkable job when it comes to legal reforms. Dismantling the menstrual sheds is also happening, and the next step is definitely to mainstream dignified menstruation in all the programs, activities, and she also said that the government alone cannot realize this dream of dignified menstruation. So all the stakeholders, we need to collaborate so that we can end all the menstrual taboos and stigmas, and also ensure and then only we can ensure women rights. So that was a summary translation from Shanta Vaturai. So I would like to, I think we are trying to reconnect with Anna one more time. Anna Soitomo from Indonesia is joining us. So if she
yes, can you hear my voice?
Okay, yes. So I would like to request you for your experience sharing now.
Yeah, okay, thanks very much. Good morning to all participants of the second International Dignified Menstruation Day and International Workshop on Dignified Menstruation 2017. My name is Nas Sutomo. I am one of the steering committee of the Coalition of Dignified Menstruation and the founder of Indonesia, the movement of dignified menstruation in Indonesia. Thank you for the opportunity to share my experience in this session. I remember last year on July, I invited Radha to talk with some of my friends to share her experience on dignified menstruation movement, as well as sharing her enormous energy. After a couple of meetings, we are confident enough to start Indonesia chapter. The general situation of how people perceive menstruation is almost typical and similar in many places in Indonesia. Even though we are multi-ethnicity and multi-religion, but all culture and religion has taboo and stigma regarding menstruation in different form. Because of that, people experience menstruation in the most uncomfortable feeling, mocking, and sometimes restricted to participate in any important events. In 2006, UNICEF conducted research and found out that in Indonesia, 1 out of 6 girls attending school for 1 or more days during season. And 60% says they're afraid and shocked. 30% says they feel disgusting, embracing, pain, panic, discomfort, cry, and only 30% says that they okay. Don't know the common information about menstruation. They only know about taboo, the stigma, and the restriction. And this is not the feeling we expected for an important biological cycle. This is why we see that this movement is very important. For the last half year, we have conducted a discussion and inspiring people on circle and about having menstruation with dignity. We create campaign poster, fuel, and spread the message through social media as well as to support on human rights events to promote the idea of dignified menstruation as a human right. And to invite more people to join this movement. This movement started in Nepal by most inspiring women Radha Paudel, my friend, and success to encourage many people in many places to do the same, including me. This is all I can share for today, and hopefully I could learn more in this event for the next 3 days. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Anna, for joining us despite a little bit of technical difficulties with the internet connection, I suppose. Well, we are coming towards the end of inaugural session, and I also want to take a moment to thank all the participants here with us in the auditorium and joining us virtually from various countries and time zones for being there right from the morning at 8 a.m. Nepal time. We are really thankful for each of you, and each of your presence is inspiring us in different ways. So on the behalf of organizers, thank you so much to each one of you. Well, for next, we just have got 3 more speakers, and then we will say goodbye for today. So please be with us for a little longer, maybe for some minutes only. And now I would like to request a member of parliament who is also joining us today. So I would like to request Honorable Anita Debkota for the speech. Thank you so much.
धन्यवाद। यो अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय कार्यक्रमका माध्यमबाट 16 दिनीय अभियानका सन्दर्भमा आयोजित यस कार्यक्रमका आजका सभाध्यक्षज्यू, आजका प्रमुख अतिथिज्यू, मन्त्रीज्यू, महिला तथा ज्येष्ठ नागरिक मन्त्रालयका मन्त्रीज्यू र भर्चुअल का माध्यमबाट, प्रविधिका माध्यमबाट जोडिएका सम्पूर्ण वरिष्ठ व्यक्तित्वहरू सबैमा 16 दिने अभियानलाई सार्थक रूपमा परिणाममुखी बनाउनको लागि हामी सबै लागौं र सामूहिक प्रयासबाट यो सम्भव छ भन्ने कुरालाई सार्थक बनाउन सकौं। म सबैमा हार्दिक शुभकामना व्यक्त गर्न चाहन्छु। आज राधाजीले आमन्त्रण गर्नुभयो र एउटा पुस्तकका माध्यमबाट महिनावारीलाई कसरी मर्यादित बनाउन सकिन्छ। हाम्रो समाजमा, हाम्रो नेपालमा छाउपडी प्रथा अहिले पनि विद्यमान छ, जो महिलाहरू महिनावारी भएकै कारणले महिलाहरूले विभिन्न विभेदहरू खेप्न बाध्य छन्। त्यसैले महिलामाथि हुने हिंसालाई अन्त्य गर्नको लागि यस्ता विभेदहरू जबसम्म हामी अन्त्य गर्न सक्दैनौँ तबसम्म समतामूलक समाजको हामी निर्माण गर्न सक्दैनौँ। यो सामूहिक प्रयासका लागि हामी गरिनुपर्छ भन्ने मान्यताका साथ आज यो भर्चुअल माध्यमको, आज यो ग्लोबलाइजेसन, यो विश्वव्यापीकरणका माध्यमबाट यो अझै पनि हाम्रो समाजमा अपराधको रूपमा, एउटा कुप्रथाको रूपमा छ। यो कुप्रथालाई अन्त्य गर्नको लागि जुन अभियान चालिएको छ, यसलाई म विशेषतः हार्दिक आभार प्रकट गर्न चाहन्छु। यो अभियानमा आफू पनि समाहित भएको उद्घोष गर्न चाहन्छु। म विपक्षी दल अपोजिसन पार्टीको प्रमुख सचेतक हुँ। मेरो पार्टी पनि यो अभियानमा संलग्न छ भनेर म प्रतिबद्धता व्यक्त गर्न चाहन्छु। मुलुकको समग्र जनसङ्ख्याको आधाभन्दा बढी भाग ओगटेको महिलाहरू यत्र नार्यस्तु पूज्यन्ते रमन्ते तत्र देवता, जहाँ नारी वर्गको सम्मान हुन्छ त्यहाँ महिला मात्र भगवानको बास हुन्छ भन्ने हाम्रो उक्ति, अहिले त्यो उक्तिहरू सार्थक छैन। हामी संविधानमा न्यायपूर्ण समाजको परिकल्पना गरेका छौँ। हिंसामुक्त समाज को प्रस्तावनामै संविधानको हामीले उल्लेख गरेका छौँ। सङ्घीय लोकतान्त्रिक गणतन्त्रको स्थापनापछि सङ्घ, प्रदेश र स्थानीय तह गरेर 3 तहको निर्वाचन सम्पन्न भएर अहिलेको अवस्थामा हामी आइसकेको अवस्थामा हामीले धेरै कानुनहरू निर्माण गरेका छौँ। अघि न भर्चुअलका माध्यमबाट मन्त्रीज्यूले पनि भन्नुभयो धेरै कुराहरू आइसके। तर कार्यान्वयनको पाटो अत्यन्त फितलो छ। यहाँ मन्त्रीज्यू हुनुहुन्छ, म आग्रह गर्न चाहन्छु, कार्यान्वयनको पाटो अत्यन्त फितलो छ। योभन्दा अलिकति अगाडि मलाई सम्झना छ, मन्त्रीहरूले आफ्नो सम्पत्ति विवरण बुझाउने बेला मैले यति दाइजो पाएँ भनेर उल्लेख गरेको मैले पाएँ। मैले संसदको विशेष समयमा दाइजोलाई कुप्रथा हो, यो दण्डनीय हुनुपर्छ भनेको बेला मन्त्रीले मैले यति दाइजो लिएर आएँ भन्ने कुरा, यो हाम्रो मानसिकता कस्तो हो भनेर मैले त्यतिखेर पनि प्रश्न संसदमै उठाएकी थिएँ। त्यसैले जबसम्म हाम्रो मानसिकतामा चेन्ज हुन सक्दैन, जबसम्म हाम्रो मानसिकतामा परिवर्तन हुन सक्दैन, कानुन निर्माण गरेर पनि मात्रै पुग्दो रहेनछ भन्ने मलाई लाग्छ। हिजो जिउँदै जलाइने महिलाहरू अहिले संविधान निर्माणमा पुगेका छौँ। 33% सङ्घीयमा छ, 40% स्थानीय तहमा छ, तर कार्यान्वयनको पाटो अझ पनि फितलो छ। म आग्रह गर्न चाहन्छु, अहिले पनि बलात्कारका कारण, यो झाउपडीमा बसेकै कारण कति महिला किशोरीहरू बालबच्चाहरू बलात्कृत हुन परेको अवस्था छ। त्यो बेला वडा अध्यक्षले लगेर पञ्चहरू मिलाएर त्यहाँ मिलापत्र गराइदिने अहिलेको परिपाटी छ। यो अत्यन्त निन्दनीय छ। त्यति मात्र होइन, हामीले अपराधको सजायलाई, अपराध संहिता अहिले जुन निर्माण गरेका छौँ कानुन, त्यसमा 16 वर्षदेखि मुनिको लागि त्यो बालक भएको कारणले उसले जुन पाउनुपर्ने सजाय हो त्यसमा कम हुँदाले अहिले के गरिराखेको छ भने त्यो भलाद्मीहरू बस्ने अनि हस्पिटलबाट यो कम उमेरको छ भनेर सर्टिफिकेट बनाउन लगाएर अनि उनलाई त्यो अपराधबाट मुक्त गराउने अहिलेको प्रवृत्ति छ। त्यसैले यस्ता प्रवृत्तिहरू निरुत्साहित गर्नको लागि हामी सबै जुटौँ, हामी सबै लागौँ र जबसम्म महिलाहरूलाई शिक्षा र स्वास्थ्य र आर्थिक रूपमा महिलाको पहुँच हुन सक्दैन तबसम्म फेरि हामीले सोचेको जस्तो समाज निर्माण गर्न सक्दैनौँ। अहिले हामी महिला आमा छौँ, हामीले हाम्रा छोराछोरीहरूलाई शिक्षा दिने बेला राम्रो ज्वाइँ खोज्ने, डक्टर इन्जिनियर खोज्ने, तर छोरीमा लगानी लगाउन नसक्ने, आफूले स्कुल पठाउने बेला राम्रो स्कुलमा हामीले नपठाउने, छोरालाई प्राथमिकता दिने हाम्रो परिपाटी हो भने फेरि समाज निर्माणमा, समाज रूपान्तरणको अभियानमा सार्थक हुन सक्दैन भन्ने मलाई लागेको छ। र अहिले यो जुन महिनावारी जो सृजना, जसले सन्तान जन्माउँछ, जुन रगतले सन्तान जन्माउँछ, त्यही रगतलाई अशुद्ध भनेर, पाप भनेर, अधर्म भनेर हामीले त्यसलाई एउटा पापको रूपबाट छाउपडी जस्तो प्रथाको रूपमा हामीले जुन हेर्ने गरेका छौँ, यसले निश्चय पनि हाम्रो समाजलाई सही बाटोमा लग्न सक्दैन। यो सृजना हो, रगत निस्कने यो प्रकृतिको नियम हो। त्यसले मान्छे जन्माउन सक्ने, सृजना गर्न सक्ने जुन बीज हो, रगत हो, त्यो रगतलाई अशुद्धको रूपमा हामीले परिभाषित गरेर कुरीतिका नाममा, कुसंस्कारका नाममा, कुप्रथाका नाममा अहिले पनि सुदूरपश्चिममा अझ बेसी छ। त्यसको उसमा सुस्ता हाम्रा ठाउँहरूमा पनि अझ छ। अहिले पनि म आफूलाई सम्झना छ, म सानो हुँदा मलाई पनि सूर्यलाई हेर्न हुँदैन, मर्दलाई हेर्न हुँदैन भनेर एउटा परिवारको घरमा लगेर राखेको थियो। तर जब म आफू आमा भएँ, मैले छोराछोरीलाई गर्ने बेला, छोरीलाई मिन्स भएको बेला स्कुल पठाएँ, पढ्न पठाएँ, उसलाई स्वास्थ्यका कुराहरू अवलम्बन गर्न पठाएँ। त्यसैले त्यतातर्फ हामी सबै लाग्नु जरुरी छ। अहिले विद्यमान कानुनहरूलाई प्रभावकारी कार्यान्वयनमा हाम्रो ध्यान जान जरुरी छ र आवश्यक कानुन निर्माणको लागि अब कस्ता कानुनहरू साँच्चै यो छाउपडी जस्ता महिनावारीलाई मर्यादित गराउने कुराहरूमा जुन बाधक बन्छन्, छाउपडी जस्ता कुराहरूलाई अन्त्य गर्नको लागि अब हामीले कार्यान्वयनको पाटो र कडा कानुनको आवश्यक छ। यदि त्यहाँ वडा अध्यक्ष, त्यही सम्मिलित वडा अध्यक्षले त्यही ठाउँमा छाउपडीलाई अझ पनि छाउपडीको रूपमा लगेर राखिन्छ भने त्यो परिवारलाई कारबाही गर्नुपर्छ र त्यहाँ रहने वडा अध्यक्षलाई पनि कारबाही गर्नुपर्छ भन्नेतर्फ अब हामीले स्थानीय तहलाई बढी जोड दिएर लिएर जानुपर्छ भन्ने मलाई लागेको छ। यो पुस्तिकाले हामीलाई धेरै मद्दत पुर्याएको छ र महिनावारीलाई मर्यादित बनाउनुको लागि जुन अभियान छ, यो अभियानमा आफू पनि लाग्ने प्रतिबद्धताका साथ सबै जुटौँ, सबै लागौँ, सामूहिक प्रयासका साथ राज्यको मूल प्रवाहमा प्रवाहीकरण गर्नको लागि यस्ता विभेदहरू अन्त्य हुन आवश्यक छ। त्यसैले अब हामीले राष्ट्रिय अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय धेरै सन्धि सम्झौताहरू गरिसकेका छौँ, धेरै कानुनहरू निर्माण गरिसकेका छौँ, तर कार्यान्वयनको पाटो अझ पनि हाम्रो प्रभावकारी छैन। त्यसैले त्यो कार्यान्वयनको पाटोलाई प्रभावकारी गराउनको लागि माननीय मन्त्रीज्यू यहाँ हुनुहुन्छ, सरकार छ, हामी सबै राजनैतिक दलहरू छौँ, हामी सबै नागरिकहरू सबै लागौँ, जुटौँ र यो अभियानलाई सार्थक बनाऊँ भन्ने उद्घोषका साथ जुन पुस्तक विमोचन र यो बहसका रूपमा ल्याउनु भएको छ, म यस आयोजना गर्ने मित्र राधा पौडेलजी लगायत सम्पूर्ण अग्रज व्यक्तित्वलाई हार्दिक आभार प्रकट गर्दै बिदा हुन्छु। धन्यवाद। जय नेपाल।
Thank you so much, Honorable Anita Debkota, Member of Parliament, for expressing the commitment in the campaign of dignified menstruation. She is also representing Nepali Congress, opposition party in the current government of Nepal. And she stated that although we have enough laws and policies, we somehow lack in the process of implementation. And in her capacity as Member of Parliament, she shared that what she has been doing in order to end all the menstrual restrictions and various kind of gender-based discrimination. She stated that she has been continuously raising voice to end the practice of menstrual isolation and all other menstruation related discrimination. She highlighted that the local government has an important role to play in order to ensure all the laws and policies are implemented, and she also highlighted the importance of education and health for women's empowerment. Now we are coming towards the end of the event, and before I proceed, I really need to thank Honorable Minister of Women, Children and Senior Citizen, who has been with us right from the morning despite his busy schedule. This also shows how committed he is in this issue, and we are very thankful for that. So I would like to request him for the speech for now. माननीय मन्त्रीज्यू लीलानाथ श्रेष्ठज्यूलाई म अब मन्तव्यको लागि अनुरोध गर्दछु र त्यसपछि म इङ्ग्लिस ट्रान्सलेसनसँग फेरि उपस्थित हुनेछु। थ्याङ्क यू।
यस कार्यक्रमका अध्यक्षता गर्नुभएको अध्यक्षजी, डाइसमा बस्नुभएका हाम्रा माननीयज्यू, यो भर्चुअल मिटमा जोइन हुनुभएका हाम्रा माननीयज्यूहरू, योजना आयोगका सदस्यहरू, अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय यस अभियानमा कार्यक्रममा जोडिनु भएका सम्पूर्ण महानुभावहरूलाई म आफ्नो मन्त्रालयको तर्फबाट मन्त्रीको, नेपाल सरकारको मन्त्रीको हिसाबले सबैलाई शुभकामना दिन चाहन्छु। सबभन्दा पहिले म हाम्रो राधा पौडेल हाम्रो फाउन्डेसनलाई धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु। यो वास्तवमा नेपालको संविधानमा महिला विरुद्ध हुने सबै भेदभावको अन्त गरिएको छ। हामीले अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय रूपमा महासन्धिहरू पनि गरेछौँ, त्यस्तै हामीले विश्वव्यापी घोषणापत्रमा पनि प्रतिबद्धता जाहेर गरिसकेका छौँ, विभिन्न अनुबन्धन पनि गरेका छौँ। हामीले महिलाको मानवाधिकार, महिलाको अधिकार 1948 मा हामीले घोषणापत्रमा हस्ताक्षर गरेका छौँ। त्यस्तै हामीले राजनीतिक नागरिक अधिकार सम्बन्धी अनुबन्धन 1966 को पनि हस्ताक्षर गरेका छौँ। त्यस्तै हामीले आर्थिक, सामाजिक र सांस्कृतिक अनुबन्धन 1966 मा हस्ताक्षर गरेका छौँ। त्यस्तै महिला विरुद्ध हुने सबै प्रकारको भेदभावको अन्त गर्ने 1979 पनि हस्ताक्षर गरेर हामीले नेपाल पक्ष राष्ट्रको रूपमा हामी उभिएका छौँ। तर संविधानमा व्यवस्था भए तापनि अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय महासन्धिहरू, घोषणापत्रहरूमा हस्ताक्षर गरे पनि हाम्रो समाजमा रहेको कुरीति, कुप्रथा, अन्धविश्वास, रूढिवादी समाजको कारणले गर्दा अहिले पनि हाम्रो समाज जकडिएको छ यो अन्धविश्वासमा, कुप्रथामा। यसलाई जबसम्म हामीले अन्त गर्न सक्दैनौँ तबसम्म महिलामाथि हुने भेदभाव अन्त हुन सक्दैन। त्यसको लागि अभियानको रूपमा हामीले स्थानीय तह, प्रदेश सरकार, सङ्घीय सरकारले चाहिँ एउटा अहिले नीति, लैङ्गिक नीति, समानता नीति 2077 अहिले हामीले अन्तिम चरणमा छ। त्यो हामीले पास गरिसकेपछि स्थानीय तहमा संस्थागत रूपले कसरी हामीले बजेटमा, योजनामा, नीतिमा, कार्यक्रममा महिलामाथि हुने विभेदलाई कसरी अन्त गर्ने, संस्थागत कसरी गर्ने, त्यो कुरा चाहिँ ग्यारेन्टी हुन्छ। त्यसको लागि हामीले यो महिनावारी सम्बन्धी, मर्यादित महिनावारी सम्बन्धी अहिले हामीले चाहिँ एउटा निर्देशिका 2077 हामीले बनाइसकेका छौँ, त्यो पास हुने प्रक्रियामा छ। त्यस्तै नेपाल सरकारले हामीले अहिले भर्खरै 16 दिने यो महिला हिंसा विरुद्धको अभियानको सिलसिलामा 8 डिसेम्बरलाई चाहिँ नेपाल सरकारले मर्यादित महिनावारीको घोषणा गर्ने एउटा दिवस मनाउने 8 डिसेम्बरलाई भनेर संसदमा त्यो हामीले पेश गरिसकेका छौँ। त्यस्तै हामीले अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय रूपमा चाहिँ यो मर्यादित महिनावारीलाई हामीले घोषणापत्र तयार गरेर परराष्ट्र मन्त्रालयमा पनि हामीले बुझाइसकेका छौँ र छलफलको क्रममा छ। 8 डिसेम्बरलाई चाहिँ घोषणा गर्नुपर्छ मर्यादित महिनावारीलाई भन्ने कुरा हामीले लबिङ गरेका छौँ। यसको लागि म के भन्न चाहन्छु भने यसमा नागरिक समाज, विकास साझेदार, यो अभियानमा लागेको सम्पूर्ण व्यक्तिहरूले एकजुट भएर लाग्नुपर्ने आवश्यकता छ। हाम्रा प्रत्येक घरमा आमा हुन्छ, दिदी हुन्छ, बहिनी हुन्छ, छोरी हुन्छ, तिनीहरूलाई हामीले सबै प्रकारको भेदभाव कसरी अन्त गर्ने, त्यो कुरा त हाम्रो संविधानमा हामीले प्रतिबद्धता जाहेर गरिसकेका छौँ। त्यो कुरा त हामीले अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय घोषणापत्रहरूमा, महासन्धिमा हस्ताक्षर गरेर प्रतिबद्धता जाहेर गरिसकेका छौँ। अब हामीले यसलाई व्यवहारमा उतारे कि नउतार्ने, यसलाई कलङ्कको रूपमा हामीले छाउपडी प्रथालाई अन्त गर्नलाई विगतमा नि हाम्रो माननीयजीहरूले, महानीत वक्ताजीहरूले अभियानको रूपमा यसलाई अन्तर्क्रिया कार्यक्रमहरू गर्नुभएको छ। अब यसलाई हामीले अझ संस्थागत ढङ्गले कसरी सबै तहहरूमा यसलाई हामीले कसरी लग्ने, त्यसतर्फ हामी सबैजना एकजुट हुन आवश्यक छ। यसको लागि हामीले अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय रूपमा यसलाई ऐक्यबद्धता जनाउने, त्यसपछि हामीले सहकार्य गर्ने, त्यसपछि यसलाई अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय रूपमा यो मर्यादित महिनावारीलाई कसरी संस्थागत गर्ने, युएनमा हामीले यसलाई कसरी महासन्धिको रूपमा हस्ताक्षर कसरी गर्ने, या घोषणापत्रको रूपमा हामीले कसरी घोषणा गराउने, त्यो गर्न सक्यो भने अनि यसलाई अझ राम्रो हुन्छ। र नेपालले, सरकारले यसलाई विशेष प्राथमिकता दिएको छ। आज पनि हाम्रो मन्त्रालयले 2 बजे यो मर्यादित महिनावारी सम्बन्धी विज्ञहरूसँग चाहिँ अन्तर्क्रिया कार्यक्रम राखेका छौँ। यस विषयलाई हामीले एकदमै प्राथमिकतामा हामीले दिएका छौँ। अस्ति पनि सम्मान्य राष्ट्रपतिज्यूले आफ्नो सम्प्रेषण गर्नुभएको छ, यसलाई चाहिँ सबै प्रकारको भेदभाव अन्त गर्नुपर्छ भनेर। 16 दिने महिला हिंसाको विरुद्धको कार्यक्रममा सम्मान्य प्रधानमन्त्रीले प्रतिबद्धता जाहेर गर्नुभएको छ। यसलाई नेपाल सरकारले विशेष रूपले जोड दिएको छ। यसको लागि चाहिँ एउटा सरकारले, सङ्घीय सरकार मात्रै होइन, प्रदेश सरकार, स्थानीय सरकार, सबै नागरिक समाज, सबै विकास साझेदार, सबै यस अभियन्ताहरूले अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय रूपमा यसलाई हामीले कसरी स्थापित गर्ने, त्यसतर्फ सबै मिलेर लाग्नुपर्छ। अन्तमा यस अभियानमा लाग्नुहुने हाम्रा राधा पौडेलजीलाई म विशेष धन्यवाद दिन्छु। तपाईँहरूसँग सहकार्य गरेर हामी जान तयार छौँ। तपाईँले अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय रूपमा यसलाई जोडदार रूपमा अगाडि बढाउनु भएको छ। ल यसलाई हामीले एउटा 8 डिसेम्बरलाई चाहिँ राष्ट्रिय दिवसको रूपमा मनाउनलाई सरकारले यसलाई अगाडि बढाएको छ। अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय रूपमा पनि हामीले यसलाई चाहिँ अगाडि बढाइरहेको अवस्था छ। त्यसको लागि तपाईँलाई यस अभियानमा लाग्नु भएको छ। तपाईँले नेपालको एउटा गौरवमय राम्रो काममा अगाडि बढ्नु भएको छ। त्यसको लागि हाम्रो मन्त्रालय तपाईँसँग सहकार्य गर्न तयार छ, सहयोग गर्न तयार छ। तपाईँलाई धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु भन्दै आफ्नो यो कार्यक्रममा छोटो मन्तव्य यहीँ टुङ्ग्याउँछु। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद माननीय मन्त्रीज्यूलाई यस कार्यक्रममा मन्तव्य राखिदिनु भएकोमा र उद्घाटन सत्रको प्रमुख आतिथ्यता गरिदिनु भएकोमा। So now I would like to present a summary translation of Honorable Minister's speech. Honorable Minister said that the government of Nepal has signed various international treaties to end gender-based violence and all sorts of discrimination, and currently the ministry is also working towards proposing United Nations so December 8 can be celebrated as International Day for Dignified Menstruation. He also stated that the government of Nepal is in the ministry is in the final stage of enacting gender equality policy, which will also be milestone to implement various laws, and that will also help to establish dignified menstruation and also to work with the local government. The ministry has also drafted bylaws on dignified menstruation that he believes will help to institutionalize dignified menstruation, and he really appreciated the efforts and contribution of Radha Paudel in this menstrual activism, and he says that the ministry will continue to work in days to come. As Honorable Minister states that it's not possible, only the government's effort will not help us to end all sorts of discriminations related to menstruation. So he has called upon various institutions and development partners, NGOs, and people from all the various sectors to work together collaboratively in the issue of dignified menstruation. Thank you so much for that remarkable speech, Honorable Minister. Now we have definitely come towards the end of inaugural session. We really want to thank you one more time, our sign language interpreter, our technical team, and all of you who participated us virtually and here with us in the studio. Global South Coalition for Dignified Menstruation's team has done a marvelous job in putting all this together. So now I would like to request the chair of this event, like I rightly said before, heart and soul of dignified menstruation, coordinator of Global South Coalition for Dignified Menstruation, Ms. Radha Paudel, for the closing remarks, and I also want to say goodbye. Thank you.
इस कार्यक्रमका प्रमुख अतिथि माननीय मन्त्रीज्यू लीलानाथ श्रेष्ठज्यू, माननीय मन्त्रीज्यू पार्वत गुरुङज्यू, माननीय ज्यूहरू लगायत सम्पूर्ण अतिथिज्यूहरू, स्टुडियोमा आउनुभएका र भर्चुअली जोडिनुभएका सम्पूर्ण अतिथिज्यूहरूमा हार्दिक नमस्कार र आभार व्यक्त गर्दै म अङ्ग्रेजी भाषामा बोल्ने अनुमति चाहन्छु। Namaste, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, friends all around the world. All protocol observed. First, let me congratulate each of you who relentlessly work for the dignity of menstruators all around the world. Today is the second International Dignified Menstruation Day. Together, we have already made a difference. I am very proud of you all. I also take this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude and thanks to all contributors for the book. They are from Australia, Brazil, Canada, Chile, Fiji, France, India, Indonesia, Japan, Morocco, Malaysia, Myanmar, Nepal, Peru, Portugal, Philippines, Papua New Guinea, UK, and USA. At a young pre-puberty age, I attempted suicide even before having menstruation due to absolute fear of menstrual discrimination, shame, and taboo. The landscape of menstrual discrimination and trauma no more my personal story even today at all. At any given time, at least half of the population of this planet is menstruating, and menstruators' lived experiences ranges from feeling of disgust, shock, dehumanized, deprivation from participation, having food, water, experience of themselves as inferior, survivor of sexual abuse, rape, killing, and even death, etc., no matter whether the menstruators from Global South or Global North. The degrees of menstrual discrimination and oppression is wider, deeper, and complex, and more painful among the menstruators with disability, sexual minorities, refugees, migrant workers, and other marginalized population. I heard so many similar stories every day from all corners of the globe. My heart wrenched when I lost my 14 years Kenyan daughter, Jacqueline Chepanjengo, due to menstrual shame at school last year. I am still terrified imagining the everyday situation for my daughters and granddaughters in Nepal and globally. This is very high time to explore the underlying factor for construction of power and agency which has significant role for gender-based violence, reproductive health, empowerment and human rights. These activities, books and this workshop have a single goal that re-examine our past and reimagine our future regarding development, feminism and human rights. We are inspired and informed from the trauma-filled menstrual stories, pain, struggles, sacrifices, etc. that are often unheard, ignored, misled and misinterpreted. We have also heard the promises from global leaders at all levels that they are committed to address the shadow pandemic. If so, why and how does the dignity of menstruators miss systematically from about more than half a century of human rights? Menstrual discrimination is the primary and invisible factor to construct power since early age and play a vital role in gender norms and unequal power relationship. I hope that we are not so divided to agree that the menstrual discrimination is a global pandemic because the taboos, stigma, abuses, discrimination associated with the menstruation irrespective to class, caste, region, religion and so on all around the world. Of course, there is a difference in name, forms and degrees from person to person and place to place and so on. We all agree that menstrual discrimination is complex and multifaceted natural phenomena. Thus, it needs holistic approach to address all impact that raised at immediate and long-term regards to economic, politics, peace, human rights, and overarching goal of gender equality. Thus, I urge hand-in-hand campaigns with all activists, academicians, governments, CSOs, politicians, media, and all at all levels for menstrual talk dignity first in order to acknowledge the very critical essence of menstruation. At last but not least, I express my sincere heartfelt gratitude and thanks to Chief Guest Honorable Minister, Parvat Gurung, Honorable Parliamentarian, Nepal Human Rights Council, my Guruma Kamla Bhasin, my dear friend Dr. Samiccha Koirala, and all friends who are joining physically, morally, emotionally all around the world. By this note, I announce to end today's inauguration session. Tomorrow we will see again at 8:15 a.m. in the morning. Thank you. Thank you all.